Nice to have you back, I guess.
If you're in your early 20s and grew up with a PS2, it's likely that you played a bit of Ratchet and Clank back in the day. As a kid, I was a big fan, with my favourite by far being the original, with its emphasis on platforming and the way it developed what are now two of gaming's icons. Now, remakes and reimaginings happen in video games all the time, but usually they only attempt to recreate the gameplay, design, themes, or aesthetics of the originals while creating new game worlds and sometimes entire new universes for them to be implemented in. But from the footage being shown of the new Ratchet and Clank, Insomniac seem to be implying that all the levels from the original game are going to be recreated, just with the updated mechanics and story of the newer titles. While as a biased fan the story probably won't be to my taste, it is very interesting to see levels created 13 years ago rebuilt with more powerful technology. It's up in the air at the moment whether every level from the 2002 release will be back, but from the trailers shown it looks like a fair amount of very specific sections and moments will be returning, which leads me to wonder if even the pace and structure of the old stages will be replicated. As such, for the kicks, I figured it might be fun to have a little comparison sesh to speculate on what's being brought over. In the gameplay snippets released, we can see a city very similar to Metropolis with a revamped version of the flying train set piece. Another gameplay sequence shows a reimagined version of the Blargian Snagglebeast fight from Quark's lair. Interestingly though, the demo level select shows the names Aliro City and Nebula G34, which makes me ponder if the levels will be renamed, or maybe they'll be referred to in the story as technically taking place in different locations than in the old timeline. Something interesting to note is that while some signs in the demo reference the Solana Galaxy weapon distributor Gadgetron, others show the Megacorp logo from the second game's Bogon Galaxy vendor. Might we be seeing two competing sellers in the same game? Guess you'll have to pre-order to find out. As the trailer gets going, we can see what looks to be Pokataru returning with its trademark swarming mutant fish. Ratchet even has a bloke trailing behind him, which might indicate a similar escort mission type scenario. Clank, once again, has a space exploration mission outside the Blarg Tactical Research Station with its trademark ballrooms. This section here is snowing like Planet Hoven, but reminds me more of Battalia, especially in this area here, which resembles the base at the end of the map. Or you know, it could be a completely new location, who knows. Loads of areas from the original begin to pop up near the end of the trailer. We have the waist-dumping ships from Pokataru, what I assume is the Snagglebeast fight battlefield from Quark's base. Here we can clearly see the bridge that gets attacked on Planet Novalis, with even the upper waterworks areas where the duo meet the plumber for the first time visible in the background. Here we can see what looks like the fiery planet Gaspar. Considering this was such a small planet in the original only visited for one item, it's what leads me to believe Insomniac may really be gunning to recreate all the old planets here. What makes me follow that train of thought even more has to be this room, a small area from Blackwater City in which slime monsters are encountered locked away in a sort of cave-like room. The fact that such a tiny location is showing up again makes me wonder just how similar levels will be in terms of arrangement. Once more we see what looks like the docking area of the Blarg Station, Novalis, and even the weapon testing rooms from Kalibo 3's Gadgetron headquarters, which I am pretty interested to see recreated with modern tech. Not quite sure about this location, but visually it looks quite similar to Planet Iridia, though further inspection of the trees might indicate it being Planet Velden. It also looks like the hoverboard races from Blackwater City are returning, and yeah, they look pretty cool. At the end of the trailer, Ratchet crashes a ship into what looks like Metropolis. The ship appears pretty similar to the craft Ratchet used to escape Velding in the original, but back then they crashed it in Novalis, so perhaps order of appearance for levels will differ this time around. It's really surprising to see Insomniac even go as far as to reuse the original enemy design specific to each level, which if I'm honest are really neat to see recreated. I know I won't really like the story, the writing in the future games always seemed below the standard of the PS2 titles, especially in terms of comedy. The relationship between the duo here just seems a bit flaccid, while in the original the two clashed as they developed throughout their first adventure. Whether they'll do that here is still left up in the air I suppose, but Ratchet definitely seems to have a way different demeanor and motivations now. He seems a bit compared to the hot-headed proactive guy he was in the original before the adventure made him more responsible and laid back. I don't see the original Ratchet being such a boy scout about wanting to be a hero like this new one does.
We are on a mission to save the galaxy.
Speak for yourself and put your hands down. You look ridiculous.
I do realize that complaining about the canon in Ratchet and Clank will probably make me a bit of a bitch baby man-child, so at the end of the day I'll just say that the game looks pretty fun. I'm sure the kids are gonna love it, and if you're a parent this will probably be worth picking up for the young'uns way more than whatever next Sonic catastrophe is on the way. No matter what, it looks like this will be a really fun game to compare to the original once it releases next year, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it develops just for that.
I got my own problems.
If you cannot see the importance of this situation, you do have problems.